All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode. Welcome back to the Hechale show. This is your boy Billy. We got our boy DC over
You were about
here.
to say the journey, huh?
No, I took a pause. I took a pause, bro. But
Yes, welcome back, everybody.
what's going on, bro?
Chilling in my casita till you came over and woke me up, bro.
We once again back in Danny's hood.
Danny's, what happened to DC?
Well, we're back in DC's hood.
Just messing with
I've
you.
had
bro.
one of those days too.
Yeah, what you do? Work, all that?
I worked, yeah, and
Good.
my dad canceled on me, so
he stood you up. I'm kidding.
he stood me up. I was waiting at the Drunken Crab with the prom dress. Nah, but like I said, like I was watching the Pacers game, and I'm like, and he calls me, but dude, I'm feeling it. I was like, I'm chorro, bruh.
Bro, my goodness.
So he calls me. he calls me like, hey, sabes que I'm on my way to Santa Maria. I didn't finish the job until now. I'm barely gonna finish it now. So I'm like, you know what? That's actually quite all right because, because
You've been shitting all day.
I would make him pick up the bill, you know. So I didn't want him to spend money on something that I probably wasn't gonna eat as much because of that. So anyway, we're supposed to meet up tomorrow, but that saw me some time. I still went downtown. I went over to Men's Warehouse to get a bow tie and everything. And once I came back, I just started writing down these responses that we got on the page, and good.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, man. What about
That's
you?
good. Same thing. Nah, just kidding.
Everything that I went through as well. Yeah, chorro as well.
Except for that part. Worked, bro. Worked this morning and then just got home, taking care of my wife.
Eso, mijo.
Duh.
Yeah, you're the one on duty for a bit. Nah.
Yeah. Maybe don't put that part in. No, I'm doing good, bro. Just was working and got home and just chilled for a little bit. Thursdays are like my easy day.
For sure.
It's like the day that I don't work overnights or don't do too much.
Oh, that's dope.
But every other day I'm busy.
There you go. That's what's up, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. You know, it's cool to be back here once again. You know, and
Yeah,
so
it's chill, isn't it?
it's awesome, man.
I don't have to drive.
Nah, man, exactly. But you know, I don't mind driving because I love to drive.
You're
You know?
weird. Who loves to drive?
I love to drive.
I don't want it. If I could have a chauffeur, dude, I would prefer a chauffeur, and I can be in the back seat just chilling.
I would appreciate that once in a while, you know, but I love to drive. So when I was living in Santa Maria, I love to drive. You know, it's obviously
I don't know a lot of people your kind.
oh, dude, meet half of my freaking coworkers. They all commute.
They love to drive. I don't think they love it though.
They don't love it. I imagine
like you love it.
I imagine some of them don't love it, you know, and especially those who are south.
Yeah.
They deal with all the freaking traffic.
Yeah.
But you know, one thing I loved when I was living in Santa Maria is like you would drive like just up the coast. But for me, I was just able to listen to music and think, you know. But it was just too much for me, only because Jaden had too many events like in Santa Barbara.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, he has too many events for me to be doing out there. So I just came back, and so but otherwise, like, I love it. So
You're weird. I'm just
So,
listening to you tell your story. I'm like, no.
Meanwhile, with these little 10-minute drives from my pad to your pad,
Like, I see all that would
Not
sound good if I was in the back seat, listening to music or whatever it was, just looking at the view. Or
tell me about it.
no, but either ways, you know, just having a good time, having a good day, bro. I'm glad that you're here. Glad that you get to come here. And I wanted to do something different
Love it.
today. I wanted to start off this show with the prayer. If it was all right with y'all.
I like the initiative.
Yeah, you cool? You cool with that? All right, let me take off my hat, y'all. Just show some respect.
You gonna lead
Y'all
us?
gonna see me with my hat. Nah. I messed up here. All right. Father God, thank you for this beautiful day that you've given us. Lord, thank you for all the blessings that you place in our life, Father God. Thank you for everything that you do when we forget to appreciate you for it, Lord, for the little things, for the food, for the shelter, for just the little stuff that we don't appreciate you for on a daily basis, Lord. You know, the things that we take for granted, Father God, just like just going out, getting a fresh breather of air, Lord, whatever it is, Father God. I thank you just for your mercy and for your love, Lord, and I ask for whoever's looking or for whoever's hearing this podcast or this show, whatever you call it, Lord. I ask that, some way or some form, shape, or form, you touch their hearts or we can help them out. And I ask for you to take control of this show, Lord, and not let it be us who, whose opinions want to come out, Lord, or just let it be you talking through us, Father God, to share a message that you want us to give to the people who are listening to this, Lord. And bless Billy, bless my wife, and bless myself, and in Jesus' name, and bless everyone else who's listening. Amen.
Amen.
Right, let's do this.
That led right into what we want to talk about. I mean, because of that prayer, it's like, man, I feel good to just get right into it.
Let's get right into it, bro.
It's dope, bro. I mean, first off, like, I like the initiative.
You didn't expect it?
I didn't expect it. It's awesome. And
it's
something you said in that prayer, it's just that we forget to appreciate the Lord, And so this was nice to do.
This is like a great opportunity that I know that a lot of people probably wish they could have the courage to do in a way, and probably
Facts.
just have the equipment to do it, because a lot probably, don't have the equipment or whatever the case is, or don't know how to edit like my man Billy knows.
Yeah, I try, man. But, it's like, we wouldn't even need all that, but there's nothing wrong with always wanting to be the best, and try to just, like, if you have knowledge about things, like, go for it, So I thought, like, okay, I already have a couple of softwares that could record audio. Why not just get some mics? I have one camera, and then you guys said you had one camera. It's like, dude, let's freaking do it legit.
I know. I've been saying forever we need a third camera, so hopefully we can add one into the mix pretty soon.
Bro. So it just feels good, like when we have guests come over and they see the setup.
Yeah,
it's like unreal.
Yeah.
It's unreal for them.
Yeah. Basically, like everybody we had has said like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm. So it's nice to like.
It's a good feeling.
It's nice to just kind of go above and beyond, But like even if you didn't have that stuff yet, start it. Don't hold back.
Yeah,
that stuff will get provided. So, but it was awesome, man. So it's just nice, for you to be able to do something like that. So I appreciate that. And but with that being said, bro, one thing we wanted to talk about was friendships.
See friendships.
Yes. And honestly, bro, it's like I think that's something in this world, in this society that that a lot of people are seeking, perhaps. The majority could be dealing with fake friendships or good friendships, which is amazing, but something I wanted to ask you, and obviously I'm gonna answer myself after you.
Throw back at you.
After you, was that how is it? How would you compare or opinionate your view of friendship as a high school student, and what would you say about it now?
Like what
how,
friendships?
How did you view
in high school?
How did you view friendship in high school?
Well, how did I view friendship in high school? I mean, I think a lot of kids, including probably myself, right? Yeah. I wanted to fit in, right? Whatever I was doing, whatever, was cool then. And I think I want to go a little bit more back too, because I remember elementary school a lot, and I remember the friends that I've had there. I went to McKinley School for like 3 years. So I remember that place more than I do any other elementary school, because I felt like that's where I got the most friends. I had the most friends, and I have the most memories there,
Yeah.
But I want to go back there porque I remember, bro, when I remember, like everybody else, we're just talking to anybody. We don't even care. Hey, you want to play this? You want to play that? And back in the day, in McKinley, we used to play a lot of soccer and football. And I remember, especially when we used to play football, I think George Munoz.
Oh, yeah,
shout out to George.
Shoot.
He was always like the quarterback, bro.
Oh yeah.
He was always the quarterback, and then I was always I was also like you can say the other quarterback. I think I would switch off with somebody else. But the funny thing is that we would always go against each other.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my cats are fighting.
Dude, that's freaking hilarious.
My bad. But like we would always go against each other, and like he would win, I would win. But we had such good memories there, and then I have good memories playing soccer there with other people. I think one of my memory was doing a chilena.
Oh,
What it's
what?
called, doing like a little backflip, making a goal, and everybody wanted to be on my on my team after that.
Bro.
It was cool.
That's lit.
That's Sylvester back there.
He's back on, bro.
So I want to say it was so easy, and like you didn't have a care in the world, like
Oh, dude.
what you can say about like where he came from or what he whatever, like you just wanted to play, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then going from elementary to middle school was like a big transition, bro. It wasn't normal like playing like football or playing soccer. I mean, at least I wasn't. I was trying to be cool, hang out with like the cool kids.
Yeah.
We were all just be there chatting, trying to look at the
It
girls.
was more acceptance, you know?
No, not even acceptance. I guess it was like just try to make friends that you have like the same similarities outside of like little kid activities.
Agreed.
Because now you feel older. Now you're like, I don't do that.
Yeah, so see. Yeah,
So right. it was like more like I just want to fit in, try, see what's going on here, and then pues from that obviously goes into high school. In high school, you still have that mindset, that you want to be cool, you want to look cool, whatever it is, wear cool clothes, have cool shoes, ¿verdad?
Agreed, bro.
And my friendships in high school, to get to your question too, was like I think I just saw friends like I just wanted to have people to be around with and not be alone.
Yeah.
Because who wants to be alone in high
No,
school? Sit at the lunch table by yourself.
That's the worst thing ever.
Yeah, right?
They give bad views about that, whether it's on TV or even in real life.
And I know a lot of people have gone through it. I'm not going to say, let me sit here myself and say that I did, because I was always trying to just fit in, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I can't imagine, for people who have gone through it, like what it feels like. I'm sure it feels terrible.
Yeah.
So, I mean, going back, that's what I was kind of, my view in friendship was like, I just don't want to be alone. I just want to have so many people to talk to. I want to consider myself popular or anything like that. I just consider myself like, I know a couple people here and there, I played sports. I was involved in a couple stuff, not too much. And I think for the most part, I was like outgoing. I was really easy to talk to.
Agreed.
But yeah, from high school to college is when I saw like the big change, or you can say from like freshman year to senior year, you see like a big change in your friends and also in how you see friends. I was no longer like wanting to fit in.
Yeah.
I was just trying to do it myself, thinking of what I was going to do afterwards. And it was more like, I think it was more sophomore year that started to transition into like entrepreneurship thinking, find things like that. So my friendship, the views, like my friendship views started changing then too, because I started just to kind of look on YouTube videos about how to like create your own business and how to become your own boss, and I'm still into that type of stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Like, but my views on friendship just evolved. I can say evolved, because it wasn't from like I think like I saw friends like as I want to be cool, I want to fit in, into like, no, I don't want to be like that, or I don't feel good being like this. I want friends that are going to be around me, that are going to lift me up, that are going to grow me, and that are going to help me out, have value to my life, and vice versa.
Agreed.
So that's, I mean, until this day, my view on friends has always been developing, but I believe a good friend is somebody who is always there for you, no matter the situation and no matter the circumstances. And I could speak a little bit about our friendship, and I, butt in whenever you want to. But I mean, we knew each other since babies, bro. We grew up not knowing really like that we were going to be best friends, but our parents went to the same church. We just grew up in the same playground.
Yeah, playground. And
then eventually in high school we became neighbors. And I feel like that's when our friendship really started getting like more like
we got close.
Yeah, way more.
We got close, even because at the time you were at a different high school.
Yeah.
But we were obviously still going to the same church, but once we had the idea of knowing that we're gonna live next to each other, it felt good. Just like on days where we were home from school and so whether we'd like go to one another's pad, whether it was to watch football or go play outside, you know.
Yeah.
And bro, I love those jokes, you know, when we'd be like, "Oh, dude, sorry I'm late. A lot of traffic." Like, it's literally right next door,
so
bro.
Good stories when we were living next to each other. We like, I think it was like lasted for what 2-3 years until the older wanted to move in.
Through all out, well, my freshman year, right?
Like
Because
3 years,
we're a year off. 4 or 5 years, bro.
Longer, damn.
Yeah, because it was even a little bit after high school, you know, and so that was those are just like killer times, you know, and was our parents were even closer for a bit, you know.
Yeah.
And so
definitely brought us closer.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I feel like on too, you know.
Yeah.
Continue on with all that stuff, like, because we have some stories that we can share too,
bro.
If we have time for that.
And truthfully, like, you know, the way you talked about the way you grew up, like, I grew up slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, because for when I can remember, like, going to school at a young age, I was at a private, like, Christian school, and the majority of people, some people from church were going there. You know, my cousins were going there, pastors, kids were going there, a couple more, and so we were there for like 4 years. And so then I didn't go to a public school until I was in 4th grade. And so that right there, bro, that was like a new world to me. Number one was like not wearing uniform anymore, because I always had to wear uniform, so it felt weird to free dress. But I was alone, you know, like I didn't know anybody whatsoever. Just a couple of neighbors across the street who I used to fight with all the time, you know. But it felt weird, man. And then especially be like, oh, like, we have a new student, his name's Billy. He's like, I hated that introduction because I was like so shy, and because of entering that new world at the time, like, that made me an introvert for the longest. So it took me a while to make friends. So then I also wanted to fit in, you know. I never really like cussed a lot during those years, but once I started to slowly make friends with like kids who play like YFL football, they would play football during like recess and lunch, but like straight tackle football. And so like I learned how to like start cussing or how to like stick up for myself. So at some point, like as 4th graders, like we would play against like 5th grades and 6th graders, like
y'all would be
versus each other, and some people would try to like talk shit about me, saying like, oh, like you're gay or something, and I was just like, you know what, fuck you, you know. And like, and I didn't care at the time, you know, because I thought, and they were bigger kids. I'm like, dude, I don't care. I either get my ass kicked or I'm gonna kick their ass, but I did not want to back down. It's like in front of those cats, you know.
Yeah.
And so I was like, so I got into a lot of fights. I got into a lot of fights in 4th and 5th grade because I would get picked on a lot, you know.
Dang.
And so,
were you chubby or something?
Slightly, not a lot, you know, but I think it was just out of like being competitive. If we were playing like dodgeball or basketball, and things would just kind of get out of hand, and I was like, yeah, it's like, F you, I'm not gonna like. And at the time, I would just get like mad, and you know, it's like one pushing and shoving. I was like, dude, you're gonna get your ass kicked, or I'm gonna get my ass kicked. Like, so I got in
one of us is gonna get
I got in a few fights, bro. You know, and it's like, and I was just like, I'm not gonna back down. So
it was tough for you to make friends.
It was tough, you know, but I earned respect as well. And so
the 4th grader.
By the time junior high came in, you know, well, by 6th grade, like, I felt more loved, you know, and by everybody. And so and then junior high came along. Galita Valley, I knew almost everybody.
I went there too.
Yeah, you did go there too. You're right.
8th grade year.
But you know what? I would have been there with you if I
You're a year
Oh
older,
no, wait,
though.
no, you went 8th grade. My fault. Never mind. I was in high school already.
Yeah, no, and
But,
that's for 7th. I went in Carp Middle School.
Yeah, that's true.
I moved a lot, too. I was a new kid, too, a lot.
Yeah, dude.
But I don't know. I just felt like I knew how to fit in, or
That's the thing. That's the thing with
I wasn't
if you
intro. I
knew
don't know.
if you knew how to do that. If you knew how to do that, when you're transferring schools, like,
Yeah.
shoot, you got a gift, because I had issues with that. Because when I was in GV, sad, like I said, the majority went to La Patera. They were in GV. Obviously, I met a couple other kids from these other schools, and I got to make friends with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt, man, like 8th grade is gonna be my year, And it's like, just like, I wasn't necessarily having the desire to be popular, but I knew a lot of people,
Yeah.
But until we moved closer to the west side of town, from Old Town, Goleta, and they didn't want to drive me out there anymore, and so I went to La Cumbre. So imagine, it's 8th grade. I start over again, new school,
Mm-hmm.
and so
No friends.
yeah, and it was hard for me to make friends there
Fit in
too,
again.
but it kind of helped me a little, because I played like after school sports, so it kind of helped me make a few friends. So it was tough, and then obviously, like, losing my brother made me a little bit more lonely that year as well, because that's what happened in 8th grade. So
Yeah.
that was like a really tough time for me,
Yeah.
and so then high school, like, playing, imagine, like, playing football 4 years, like, you would think you'd be friends with the team, but I really wasn't.
Really?
Just a few, but we wouldn't hang out. Like, they would have our own friends, and then I had a cousin, Jackie's brother.
Yeah.
We started talking. We met when we were little kids, but we never grew up together until high school. And so I started to hang out with him, and then he had friends who I knew from elementary.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like a reconnection, and I felt like I had him to, like, defend me when people wanted to, like, give me a hard time, but at the same time they would, like, teach me how to, like, get down and stuff, and like
teach you to protect yourself,
to protect myself and
defend yourself.
Yeah,
you don't want to get beat up on and
exactly
just get yourself it
just wasn't.
But yeah,
you did not want to get beat up in high school.
No, I mean, because if they see that you don't defend anything, then you're like the laughing stock.
Yeah,
and
you're
you
laughing stock.
Give permission for people to make fun of you, or the kids to make fun of you.
Exactly, and I was not gonna have that. And I was like, man, like, and I didn't even want to, like, give myself, like, the football player image, like.
Mm-hmm.
I personally just played it because, like, that's something I just wanted to try different, like, just doing something after.
I can't help but remember like you're telling this story about, like, how like you're getting bullied, or not getting bullied, but getting picked on. I can't help but remember that you knocked somebody out in high school, though.
Oh yeah, I did, bro.
Because they were making fun of you, or they were bullying you,
dude,
and you just didn't want to, like, you just were like, you know what, I had enough, or I don't know what.
Let me tell you that story. Let me refresh.
Right, go ahead,
me refresh your memory. So it was my sophomore year. I think it was about to be Veterans Day. It was like Veterans Day weekend, right? And so there's this chick in one of my classes who I guess had a thing for me. I wasn't interested, It's like, but at the time I didn't know how to express my feelings. So fast forward, one of my friends, who I thought at the time was a friend, he tries to set me up on a date with her. Hey, let's go downtown, like, on the day we don't have school. So I said yeah, and but I wasn't honest. So to make a long story short, like, I didn't show up, and so then once we went back to school, he would and it's funny, every time he was with his girlfriend, like, holding hands down the hall, and he would find me, he would, like, call me a pussy and make fun of me and everything. He was like, you little pussy, you didn't even show up, and this and that. I was like, you're fucking gay, and I let that slide. So he was saying it a lot over and over again for 2 weeks, bro. Like, I let that go for 2 weeks. I'm like, dude, like, you ain't worth my time.
Some patience, like, bro.
Exactly. I was trying to practice patience right there. I was like, dude, like, if I get in a fight, I want to at least say that I've had patience. So And so then, like, once I
please.
felt like I had enough, and he's still trying to make himself look all that in front of his chick, and once again, it's like, you're a pussy and this and that, like, in front of his girl. I'm like, all right, that's it. I had enough. I'm gonna call this dude out. And it's funny because I had his girlfriend for our first period. So, I remember back in the days when guys would wait in front of the girls' class. So he waited there, right, after first period. So I went up to him. I was like, hey, like, let's go take a walk, And he was like, what? Like, you're mad about that? What do you mean? Like, I've been dealing with you calling me a pussy for 2 weeks, bro. Like, I'm not letting that slide anymore. And so he just, like, walked away with this chick. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna ambush this dude. Like, I tried to call him out, and you really want to get your hands on him, like, what are you gonna do? And so then at lunch, I found him. He was with a bunch of girls, and then so I go up to him. I walked to him, bruh. I turned his shoulder around. I give it a couple seconds. Boom! I punched him in the face, bruh. Feel like I got him in the nose, bro. And dude, that dude was so scrawny, bro. I punched him. He went to the ground. And then I
Oh, no, this is a good story.
bro, dude, I waited to see if he was gonna try to fight back because I would have expected it, but no, he was just kind of like, looking at his nose, bro. I think I made him bleed from his mouth too, bro.
Dang, really?
And so, with that one punch, I'm like, "You're not gonna do anything. I'm gonna go get food now." So I just walked away, and I guess one of my homies at the time, he was standing, but he wasn't with me. And so anyway, what I'm trying to go with this is that, bro, he was right by, like, the corner of the street, so I was alone. And then eventually he tried running to me, and he was like, oh, like, why'd you have this fool help you? Was like, what did he do? He was far away from me. He's like, handle your own shit. It's like, I did handle my own shit, bro. I beat you up all by myself. and so what's it called? And at the time, obviously, a lot of people had found out about that, especially my teammates. And so a lot of people. So I was explaining that story to all my teammates who didn't get to hear about it over and over and over again during fourth period football, and they were just like, "Damn, dude, that's what's up. That's respect right there." I was like, "Bro, I felt like a king right there, bro." But but a lot of a lot of that time with those friends that I had was always about fighting. Like, if you didn't fight, if you didn't defend yourself that way, you weren't you weren't their friend anymore, or you wouldn't be accepted.
How do you feel about that now? Like looking back to that, like, what do you think about that? Like, would you tell your kid? What would you tell your kid if that stuff was happening to him? And, like,
Look, I would say, like, hey, like, and I've told them this now, like, hey, don't ever be a bully. Don't ever pick on people. Like, that's not right. But if you're in a situation and you're getting picked on,
defend yourself.
I'll give you permission to whoop that ass. Like, but I'm not, like, so I don't do it right away. Like, if you have patience, if you need to realize what's worth your time and what's not. But if you're in a situation where you can't get out of, defend yourself. But I wouldn't think anything less of him that I'm telling him, yeah, you don't have to fight.
Yeah. I remember my mom used to tell me, and I used to be like, oh, pero me está molestando or whatever, right? He's picking on me. Go tell the teacher. And then if the teacher doesn't listen, well, whatever. I don't know what she'd say, but she's like, first you got to do this. Then you got to do this. And then this, and then whatever. And then if you really have to, it's still going on, then defend yourself.
Of course.
But I remember my grandma telling me that my mom got picked on in high school.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, she got picked on in high school, and my mom was that, like, really innocent person, like, she was that, like, she was really into school, into her studies, trying to get A's. She even got like a field trip out to Washington D.C. or whatever. for the
Oh, that's
top
dope.
scholars in her school.
Shoot.
She was really smart, you know. She still is smart, but my point is that like people would pick on her, and
Wow.
I remember her telling the story that she has a friend, like up till now, that she remembers that she stood up for her. She stood up for her to the bullies, and ever since then she became friends with her, and they remain friends till this day. But I remember her telling me, "No, yeah, I would tell the teacher, or this is what you have to do, blah blah blah." But I don't know. I
In
always
high
was like,
school,
yeah, but like, I get you have a point, you
in
know?
high school, like at least like I don't know how things are now, and I'll have to find out when my kid is at that age. But
Same.
at least in our age, like in high school, telling the teacher wasn't the answer.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
If you cared about being a laughing stock,
Mhm.
you couldn't tell the teacher.
Yeah.
But at the same, but like for me, like if I was gonna fight, I needed a really good reason. And
Well,
and the thing is, I waited and waited, and so that's why like when I eventually got called into the principal's office, I didn't care, like,
yeah.
and I didn't I did care, but like let's say I wasn't gonna go in there and be a rebel about it.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, cool. I don't mind explaining this. I don't mind explaining my story
Mhm. Did you
because
explain the same
I
story?
explained everything.
What the principal say?
With the principal, she understood, and
And you still got in
and
trouble though.
she wanted to call home. I was like,
Uh-huh.
let me do it, but you could be here to listen if you want.
Uh-huh.
But
Damn. Okay.
I was the one who wanted to tell my mom because I, dude, I waited so long, and at the time I felt like I had a reason. And
Would you change things now though, Billy? I mean, like the man you
then
are now.
now for sure,
Would
yeah,
you be like
because
more like patient? Would you just kind of like
let it go.
let
It's
it
not.
go? It's not even worth it.
It's not worth it. If I'm gonna kick someone's ass, is because they're messing with my spouse or something, or my life, my safety's at risk, my life is at risk. Yeah, I'm gonna defend. I'm gonna put my family on the line,
Uh-huh.
but not for some stupid thing, like if someone's trying to talk shit like at a football game or something like
Like
that.
calling
Like,
you pussy, like how the kid
yeah,
was.
no, I wouldn't do it now.
It's like now, with the mentality that you have. Of course, for that we're kids. We don't have this. We don't. We don't have this mentality then. But now you just doesn't even matter.
Exactly.
You know.
And at the time, I felt like fitting in because
Yeah.
a lot of whether it was football players or my homies were all getting in fights and they would always win.
You know, it's so
And
funny too because I feel like some people up to this age, people that we went to high school with, they probably still hold grudges for things that happened back in
back in the days.
back in the day.
Yeah. I didn't think about that, but you're probably right.
I mean, I think so. I know I don't, but I feel like
No, me too.
I've run into people, ¿verdad? I've run into a lot of people porque it's a small town here in SB. People that I didn't like, people that probably didn't, probably got in a couple fights too. You were there, some of
I
them.
remember.
But I don't know, bro. I feel
You
like
ran
that's
into
some
those people?
Yeah, I mean, I ran into some of those people. Yeah, it was
Okay.
funny. I can't remember the exact moments, but
Uh-huh.
I don't know, bro. A veces ni me acuerdo. I don't even think it's dumb. I don't know if it's dumb, but I'm the type of guy that like just to like when I make eye contact with somebody, I smile. I
Mhm.
naturally smile. I don't try to look serious. Unless I'm having probably a bad day, then yeah, I'm not trying to look at nobody's eyes. So I'm
But
just like serious.
Exactly.
I'm the type of guy that smiles if I make eye contact with you. But that's why, like, I think I've made eye contact with like people that I have like, oh, I think I fought that guy before. I
Yeah.
think we had, and I'm smiling, whatever, and they're looking at me all weird. But I haven't had many of those types of, moments that I run into. But some people I can imagine that. Yeah, I mean, I've heard stories, or you see on social media too, like I told you the dilemmas that
Mhm.
Rico Mamba, whoever
Yeah.
follows those, if he guys follows those, you hear those like those stories all the time about holding grudges and about all this stuff that happened years ago, and you're still upset, or you don't talk, or family that something happened years ago and they don't talk for more than 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Very sad.
That's sad, dude. And I think a lot of this, because we have this topic on friendship, a lot of this stuff maybe is influenced by their friends who are telling them, "Oh, it's such and such is in the wrong, or such and such doesn't deserve your,
Mm-hmm.
your presence or your love." But you know what, Billy? That's bad advice. That's wrong advice, bro.
That's
That's like
extremely bad
that's
advice.
like that's like they're coming from a bad place too in their heart where they don't know any better. They don't have that love that Jesus can only give you. So they're giving other people the advice that, you know, they're thinking about what's happening to them and what they didn't like and what they could have done, and so that they're telling the other people that, oh, you should do this, oh, you shouldn't talk to them because he did this, da 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 da. But at the end of the
So never
day,
forgive.
yeah, but at the end of the day, I think a good friend, rather than telling you, oh, screw that person, screw that guy, or whatever the case is, hey, we all make mistakes. We all just have to learn how to forgive. And I'm not, that sounds corny. I'm pretty sure people are listening to it and say, oh, easy to say rather than, easier to say, harder, but it's harder to do. And I agree. I
Exactly.
100% agree. But I think that's why I think it takes a lot of time and understanding in trying to understand how can I say this? I don't want to sound religious, but trying to understand God's love and God's peace that He has and He wants to give you. Because I think that's what's in me, Billy, and I think that whenever like I want to give some advice, my wife's a witness. I try to give it in the I try to give it with try I try to give it not through my knowledge and my understanding, but through his understanding and what he would probably want me to tell somebody, like, hey, everything's gonna be okay. Hey, do you know God? Do you know Jesus loves you? Something like that, right?
I mean, truthfully, the best advice you can give. Like if you're trying to advise someone how to forgive, you know, people are thinking like, no, I don't want to give them that pleasure. I don't want to give them that satisfaction. But
Mm-hmm.
little do they know, like, no, the forgiveness is more about yourself.
Amen.
The forgiveness is more about setting you free from those grudges that keep playing in your head over and over again that still make you angry. But when you forgive that person, whatever they did wrong you, it's like you don't longer have those thoughts anymore. That you feel more free, you're less angry or sad, whatever they did wrong you. And that's a why wouldn't we want to give that type of advice to our people? And so I think going with that's a teaching someone how to forgive that's a good friend, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
100%. If you have somebody like that, keep that friend. We're not perfect. We all make mistakes. And one thing I tell my wife, you probably all listen to me tell my wife, we talk a lot. We have conversations a lot, and it's hard for me, but because sometimes I want to come home and rest, but I need to give her time and all this. Going back to that though, I tell my wife all this stuff too, that what we need to really, really, really do is forgive people that wrong us, forgive people that do bad in our lives, because at the end of the day, even us, we're wronging somebody without even knowing it. We may be we may be cursing them without even knowing them by saying, I hope they're such bad, whatever the case is. I don't want
You
to say
It's
something
like
stupid, but like
you
you're
just wish
wishing
for
bad
a
upon somebody
for a
else
downfall.
for a
Yeah.
downfall without really realizing it, and that's not good in our part, and so we like that's something that we speak about a lot, and I feel like a lot of people don't really, they weren't taught, Billy. How many people do you know nowadays that like only have one parent in their homes?
Several. The
And I had a
majority.
lot of friends like that growing up too, and sometimes your parents sometimes don't even have time to forgive because they don't know how to forgive.
Mm-hmm.
And this starts from, I think, an early part of somebody's life, and if they don't figure it out throughout their adolescence, through their journey of growth, they're gonna end up being a 60-year-old person not knowing how to forgive people. And I have an example. My suegra's coworker, like she like I don't she's told some stories how she's just envies her because of her youth, And
Okay.
that's not right. Like, pero we can go through that's a whole different stuff. But it's like people that just wake up and are just like mad at the world because they're older and they're not able to do the stuff that they used to do. So now they're getting mad at everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're not happy with your own stuff, and it's easy to.
So that's a good example. I think. I
It's
don't know.
easy to be having beef with other people and
Mhm.
just downplaying their success or
Mhm.
whatever it is, but it's because you're not happy with your own life, or you don't have what they have,
Mhm.
because you feel like your life is a shithole when it's really not. But you tend to see it that way, especially if you're hurting.
Mhm.
And when
Most
you're
of all
hurting too
too.
much, is because that's when you don't know how to forgive. Is when that's just one example. Just one of my loved ones dealing with what they're dealing with, still hurting. It's like you still have like the tendency to talk shit of who wronged you.
Mhm.
Don't get me wrong, I get it, but it doesn't help. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, like, learn how to forgive. And if they wronged you, it's like, shoot, at least you know now. Could be worse later. I don't know, whatever it may be, but talking, whether you're talking crap about that person, like, that don't even bring good in your life.
And if there is something that's bothering you, like I told you, like we've all mentioned, nobody's perfect. A friend's gonna get you mad.
Yeah.
But I feel like us men, more than a woman, are good at this. We're better at this. We go up to the person and tell them in their face, like, yo, like, what's good? What happened? Like, what did I do to you?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like women more are like, oh, I heard this or I saw that. So they make their own assumptions in their head and then they're mad at each other. They talk crap to them about with somebody else, and then the word gets around and then it's like a whole feud with each other that they've just been sharing feelings all along, that it's caused through frustration,
Mm-hmm.
caused through anger, and maybe some disappointment, whatever the case is, rather than going up to that person and being like, hey, did I do something to you? Did I hurt you? If I did, tell me. I'm sorry. I don't know what I did. But I feel like I'm not, I feel like men are a little bit more at this because I don't know what it is. I feel like for me, like I'm like, I've been up to people and I'm like, hey, what did I do to you? Or hey, did I do anything to you?
Yeah.
And we like fix things faster, shake down. All right, bro, my bad, man. I won't do that next time. And a good friend will do that. A good friend won't talk crap about you to other friends. And if they end up telling you, hey, guess what I heard about such and such that said this about you, you should be like, well, why are they so comfortable sharing that stuff to you? Why are they so comfortable sharing all those things about me to you?
Yeah.
What are you saying or what are you doing that they're comfortable sharing this? Are you not stopping them? Are you not telling them like, hey, yo, watch out? You're like, that's my good friend that you're talking about, whatever the case is. So that's a red flag too. And I feel like I didn't realize that growing up. I don't know if you did too. We all have friends that say, oh, guess what I've heard about you, or guess what such and such said about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Oh,
all have that friends that were
plenty,
like,
bruh.
oh, guess what such and such said about you. You should be questioning, well, like, why are they so comfortable telling you?
Yeah.
Because also they may be telling them what they're telling you about them,
You're probably building up your own stuff about that person,
and
and
those are just instigators. Those are
meanwhile,
just people that just love negativity.
yeah, yeah. And truthfully, like, I think, and if you're a good friend, it's like you get through those conflicts.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's necessary to go through those conflicts because you get to see
Hmm.
both sides of that friend, whether it's good. You're always gonna appreciate the good, but when it's bad, I could think, okay, like, it's like if we had an issue, and I th- whatever it may be, I would prefer, you could prefer to work it out, but you also kind of get to enjoy that process because then that friendship becomes stronger with whatever it is that they came out of, you know and so, because sometimes conflicts are good. And so with great friends, it just it has sometimes it has benefits on having those conflicts, and working it out. It's kind of like in a relationship, doesn't it grow stronger after that? So I imagine the same thing for a friendship, and especially if they're trying to tell you something that they're calling you out on your stuff, and it's not to get all up in your face, and it's just to make you a better person. And that's
constructive criticism.
Mm-hmm.
And damn, there's a verse in the Bible that literally says that. I can't think of it right now, but there's a verse in the Bible that says something about like people will appreciate constructive criticism more than they will appreciate flattery. Proverbs 28:23. In the end, people appreciate honest criticism far more than flattery. And you know what, too? I got to thinking about that, too. And, like, that is true because isn't there times in your life when people probably have given you something that maybe they sound like they're being mean to you, or like, how that one story that you told us, when somebody told you that, oh, Billy, you're fat, or you look fat.
Mm-hmm.
What did that do to you? That got you working out, that got you fit, instead of somebody, giving you, like, lying to you, basically. It's, oh, Billy, you look good, or Billy, you look.
It motivated me, honestly, and at the time I felt like,
right? So
yeah, and I think now being mature, I can now say, this person never meant it in a bad way.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
so
but was criticism towards you. And it probably wasn't good criticism, but it was honest criticism.
It was honest criticism.
And it got you to doing something that now
at the end it was a reality.
Yeah, and you look back, you're like, if it wasn't for that person, I wouldn't have.
Yeah, exactly. So I thank them, and speaking of that, like when you read that verse like about the criticism and all that stuff, I remember like I just finished playing drums for a service over in the valley, and my friend Michael, he's like the biggest like critic I know to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember his wife was telling me, dude, like, you killed it on the drums on my last day. No, on the second to last day. You killed it on the drums. My husband might be more critical. But I was like, I don't care. I love his criticism. He brings out the best in me as a musician, as a friend. It's like, I'm just like grateful for that, because when we know our people, whether it's like your wife or your best friends, they don't do it to crush you. Sometimes it might sting you, but at some point, like you get to a point where you want to hear it.
Yeah. And those are the words, those are the sentences that you need to hear to make you help you.
Exactly.
So you look back and you're like, damn, if it wasn't for that.
No, yeah, if it wasn't for that, it's like you'd probably be somewhere else, or you wouldn't have developed the way that you did.
Yeah, and that's what also makes a good friend, all right? A good friend will give you honest criticism. And if you get mad by what they're telling you, then you need to check yourself.
You need to check yourself, bro, because like I said, I mean, shoot, I've been saying it a lot, but it's true, man. Like, they ain't trying to crush you. They can see what you can do better because they want you to do better.
Yeah.
They want you to be the best. Because sometimes we need those friends to help be better versions of ourselves.
Most of the time, bro.
Exactly.
Because, like, I think a lot of us, when we're sharing some misery, oh, guess what happened to me? They want the other person to be, like, compassionate. Oh, it's okay. Oh, I understand.
So they don't know what you're talking about.
It's like that's not just not gonna help you, but that's gonna make you worse. That's gonna make you more just like a victim mentality, don't you think?
You're being babied.
Yeah, but
and you know what? And it was funny that you talk about this, because I was able to do like an Instagram takeover on our Hechale Mas page, and I got to ask. People had the opportunity to give their opinion on what makes a friend a good friend. So I want to read you some of these responses.
All right.
You know what? But these are from you. These first two are from you. So this one says, what makes a friend a good friend? Somebody who's there for you through good and bad. That's facts.
Yeah.
The next one said, and what I loved the most, that was so simple, a friend who doesn't take sides. is basically you're only gonna focus on what's right.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you look at the bigger picture,
Yeah.
you're not gonna defend them if you know they're the ones doing wrong.
Yeah.
And they're getting mad because they're being held accountable.
Yeah.
You're gonna tell them, okay, well, you did this wrong.
Yeah.
It's like me if they're telling me that I'm not defending a family member. I was like, well, it's not that I want to defend them. It's like, it's just necessary.
Yeah.
And so don't worry, bro, I have faith that nothing gonna happen.
My cats are playing around and ruining the cameras and stuff. I wish you guys could see.
Dead ass, bro. And then this one says, showing up for your kids. If they show up for your kids, they definitely gonna show up for you.
That's facts.
And I could definitely attest to that because, the whole world, including you guys, have been so good to my boy Jaden, and I really appreciate that. And so I can see the support that is given to both of us, And then I have to skip that one. And then another one says, for them to make effort to see you.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
We both got to play a part. And another one says, a real friend will make you uncomfortable. A fake friend will make you comfortable. And that kind of goes back into the criticism,
Mm-hmm.
That's facts, dude. And
that
it's
does tie into the criticism, because when you make somebody feel uncomfortable, you're going to tell them the truth, what they don't want to hear, but what they need to hear.
That'll make them better.
A lot of stuff, and a lot of us don't like what we need to hear. We want to hear what
they want it to be sugarcoated.
Yeah, we want to be sugarcoated. We want to be babied, whatever it is.
Facts, bro. And this one says, before I read it, watch my profanity. No, I'm just kidding. It says, a friend is going to call you out on your shit, but not to be a bitch. A friend won't gossip about your business. That friend's always a phone call away.
Yeah.
You know what? That's so true, because you find out all these issues about someone that's going on in their lives, and I've experienced that, people tend to gossip about it, or they tend to downplay it, or if it's like, or if there's some type of goals that you want to accomplish, but then I hear someone telling somebody else, a mutual friend, oh, do you really think this person's gonna want to be? Do you really think this person can make it as an RN?
Mm-hmm.
This was freaking crazy, and I say this because that's happened. Someone who I thought I can count on, who I shared this with, and tells a mutual friend of mine what they said. And they said, you really think he's going to make it as an RN? Come on, like, you don't have the capacity for that. He's not going to do it. I'm like, oh, really now?
Dang.
That was shocking for me. I was like, oh, okay. So those are the type of people who just put it as gossip. Those aren't good friends.
Yeah.
And so first off, shout out to y'all, man, who was able to respond to that. We really appreciate all y'all's input, because these weren't wrong answers, of what a good friend is.
Yeah.
And so now, one of y'all pointed out this Bible verse on Proverbs 18:24 that says, there are friends who destroy each other, but a real friend sticks closer than a brother.
Mm-hmm. No, man, that's true.
I'm shocked.
You're
about
not my
that
blood,
one.
bro. We don't come from the same mom, from the same pops, but I consider you my brother. Consider you one of my brothers. You've been there. I wouldn't say since I was a baby, but I've known you since I was a baby. But I don't even think that matters. I think what matters is like the loyalty and the loyalty that we have with one another. It's like, I know you would never backstab me, and I would never backstab you. And I think we've shared more than enough bro moments.
Oh, big time.
To build that bond where it's like, bro, whatever you need me, I'm a phone call away, and vice versa. And that's the type of friends that we all need to look for. We need to look for friends, and every single comment that you made, every single sentence that you read is what makes a good friend. And, I like to share some that doesn't make a good friend. Somebody who encourages you to fight or to be angry.
Yeah.
Somebody who encourages you to not listen to your parents. And, that's a funny one, because it's like, I think all of us growing up as teenagers, we don't like to listen to our parents, right?
Agreed, bruh. Dude.
My bad, I'm messing up this system by playing with it.
Tell me about it.
But I think that growing up, we don't like to listen to our parents. Our parents would probably give us really good advice that we won't listen to it unless we hear a good friend of ours say it too.
Well, yeah, because
Say,
they'll elaborate it more, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like now, like we can talk about, we could tell we could tell a couple youngsters on why it's important to listen to your parents.
Yeah,
you know,
100%. No, man. I mean, it's like that dicho says, you know, dumb people. Dumb people will learn from their mistakes, or smart people will learn from their mistakes. Smart people will learn from their mistakes, but wise people will learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah.
And it's true, bro. I mean, as a kid, there's stuff that a veces you just gotta touch the stove porque you don't want to listen. You don't want to believe what your parents are telling you. And so you go ahead and touch that stove and you find out, ouch. You know, you get burned, something bad happens.
It's almost like if you want your own reasons.
And then you don't do it again, right?
Exactly.
It's like you could
have
nice. Ignored all of that.
It'd be nice to just take the advice.
Just take the advice.
Now it's like, okay, they're probably not capping.
Yeah.
They're probably not lying. They're probably not saying this for nothing.
You know what, too, Billy? As you grow up, you're going to make your own mistakes. You're going to make your own mistakes that are going to like cause for you to have to learn, get off your butt, you know, whatever hole that you're in. But if you can learn from other people's mistakes as you grow up and as you know, see them make the mistakes that would happen, kind of consequences, that is a far better option to do that than just to, I'm going to just do this to see how it works out. 99% of the time, it's not going to go our way.
And sometimes, truthfully, like, you even want to make those mistakes.
Yeah, truthfully, yeah.
You know, whether we could be ignorant, stubborn, but you want to make those mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I'm going to find out for myself,
mm-hmm.
or whatever it is. But sometimes, sometimes that's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
But exactly like you said, you could ignore all that.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, you'll be able to give your own stories. And I'm not trying to encourage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to encourage y'all to like dig a hole on your on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
If you could take that advice, listen to it, man, because man, everything has its consequences.
Mm-hmm.
But then like if you do go through that, okay, you're gonna learn there too.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and you know what too, like learning through your own mistakes is the best teacher.
Yeah,
too. As much as like we want to be able to avoid downfalls and mistakes, other people's, you know, so it won't happen to us. Like, yes, let's learn from them, but there's things that we're not going to be able to avoid. There's always going to be something that's going to happen in our lives that we have to learn from. Exactly. And you know, I agree with you when you're saying that. Like, I'm not encouraging you guys to like, oh yeah, go out and, you know, be a rebel and go make a bunch of mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But learn from everything that you're doing and you're growing, because I can say this too, Billy, like for somebody in order for us to grow, bro, we need to go through those trenches. There's no growth, there's no molding, there's no, you know, like making that diamond if there's no struggle.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
if there's no pressure, you know, if there's nothing like that, then you're not really gonna learn. You're gonna grow up thinking that you're entitled or privileged. Everything is yours because you think so. You think like that. Like,
I mean, that's why they say that like success comes from failure.
Yeah, from repeated consecutive failure, not just one time or two times. Because people would be like, well, I did this and I did that, and well, I'm not anywhere. It's because you gave up. Success comes from, you know, like back to back to back to back to back failure. Until that one day you don't fail no more.
Agreed.
Because I think that's what it really is. I think every day is that downfall. Every day is that like opportunity to get closer to something, to one of our dreams, accomplishments, and we're gonna fail. Come up short.
Yeah.
Come up close and get, you know.
And it's
hard.
Up
to us to see if we keep going or if we give up. And the whole point is to keep going. It's a lot of people say, "Oh, ya estoy viejo." No, you're not dead.
You're not dead.
You still got life.
Truthfully, like I've seen it now. You know, it's like we're your mission isn't done until you pass away.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, because you know you have you know something that Pastor Emilio always used to say, or I would hear him say, probably says as it, that There are so many people who are buried with dreams that were never accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about it, man, like that's true. I've known, unfortunately, there's so many people I imagine that you and I both know, maybe not mutually, but we know people who are now dead
Mm-hmm.
and who didn't get to accomplish what they wanted to accomplish.
Go ahead.
And that
Mm-hmm.
sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
So you could add to that.
And going back to the topic of this show about friendship,
Uh-huh.
a lot of people are, a lot of people like that. It's due because of the environment that they were in, because of the friends that they had around them,
Exactly.
because of the people that told them, "Nah, you can't do that," or "Ah, you're crazy," and
Yeah.
like honestly killed their dreams or whatever it was.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
burst
it's
their
all
bubble.
due to because of the friendships that you had, what you put in your mind, everything that you let yourself be influenced with.
Mm-hmm.
I always said too, you're either gonna be influenced or you're gonna be the one that's being you're either gonna influence people. There you go. You're either gonna influence people, or you're the one that's gonna be
You're gonna be
influenced.
influenced.
And it's true. This life is about you either like seeing a show, seeing a movie, seeing your parents, seeing something that happens in your day-to-day activities. You're learning from all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's up to you to see if it's a good thing that you want to take into your life and be like, oh, I can add this, or if it's a bad thing, and it's up to you, but like, I shouldn't do this. And that's where that struggle comes into, that we always talk about in our show, right? Like overcoming the struggle,
Yeah.
having God with your life, because if you don't have God in your life, with your friendships, with your relationships, with your job, with whatever you do in life, you're gonna come up short. You're gonna really you think you're gonna be happy, but you're not gonna be happy. You're gonna
Exactly.
try to find them in the friends, but not gonna you're not gonna ever succeed in that.
So choose your people, man, and especially those who do love God.
Yeah.
And, they're gonna show you how to do good things. You're gonna learn on your own, but sometimes you need friends.
And there's friends that are worth fighting for too, Bill.
Agreed.
Because there's times where we probably get mad at them, or I don't want to talk to them anymore. But maybe it was something small. Maybe it was something that we didn't understand, and we need to put on our big pants. Call them, go up, go to their house and be like, hey, can we talk?
If it means a lot to you, you're gonna make that effort. You're gonna put some time away. You're gonna go to that person's house,
Mm-hmm.
or could we meet up could we meet somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna talk about it, and then you're gonna squash it, and you're gonna become sad. You're gonna be cool again.
Mm-hmm.
But with those type of friends, brothers, or sisters, like those are the ones worth fighting for.
Yeah.
And so I'm happy for those two that they didn't let that particular situation like ruin itself. And so that's exactly what we need to do.
And if like anybody is listening to our stories and what we're talking about friendship, if you have a friend that you haven't talked to because of a grudge, or if you have a friend that maybe something happened back in the day 5 years ago, 10 years ago, but you miss them, this could be your sign. This can be a sign for you to just send them what do you call it? Send them a DM now.
Slide to the DMs.
Send them a text. Send them something where you just let them know that you're thinking about them and that you're sorry, because most of the time we don't say sorry because we feel like we need an apology, and that we're owed an apology, and that I'm not going to say it until they say it. But trust me, when you want to be the bigger person and you just put somebody else's needs before your needs, you'll yourself realize that that's going to make you more happier than having somebody else apologize to you first. Like, so if you're listening to this and you have a friend that you really miss, somebody that's special to you in your life, reach out to them with a simple message. Hey, I miss you, hope you're doing good. I know we haven't talked for a while, but I wish you the best in life. God bless you. Something like that.
Take the initiative, because
Shoot, we they might not be here tomorrow. Simple like that, bro.
Whether if you're afraid of rejection, you never know if they're feeling the same way, but they don't have the courage to reach out. So at some point,
Life is too short.
somebody has to do it. But you know, that's solid. You know, it's nice to have good people in your life other than your family, or in this case, like for you, your significant other. And but we need friends, and in life we're only going to be blessed enough to have a few good friends who, you know, if those stick around, you know, they say like if they're sticking around like with you through thick and thin, you know, those are the ones who we need to keep.
You know what, too? There's those friends that, like, maybe you guys are just too busy with your day-to-day lives. You haven't spoken into months with each other, but you or them sent you know, each other a message, and it's like time hasn't changed you guys' relationship. It's like it's more even like, hey, what's up, bro? How you doing? Tell me about yourself. What you been up to? And those, I feel like those friends too that can recognize that, like, oh, you know, you got your life going on and I got my life going on. You know, we can hang out when the opportunity meets itself, and they never act different because of time.
Mm-hmm.
Those are good friends too.
Oh,
And
for
I
sure.
say that because I have some of them.
Oh, agreed. I
Me and
mean,
my wife has some of those friends, and it's awesome.
my friends in Bakersfield, we have to plan ahead of time
Yeah.
because it's a life. But
Yeah.
we all get that, and we're not
Yeah.
gonna clown on one another because they can't hang out.
Mm-hmm.
But as men, of course, we could make jokes, you know. But it's not that. It's not that we really mean it to take it personal,
Uh-huh.
you know. So those are definitely worth keeping in your life. And so, you know, before we conclude, you know, it's like, you know, something I want to ask you.
All
More
right.
more like more like 3 questions. So just turn this way.
Just get comfy, bro.
Nah, but I just do this because I appreciate you, you know, and
Yeah.
but I just wanted to ask, like, take it any way you want. How are you? Are you okay? Do you need anything from me?
Why you gotta do this on camera? I'm okay. I'm doing good. You know, I don't really get asked that question other than by my wife. And that's the most important person to me. But I'm going through a lot of things in my life that the best thing is happening to me, and at the same time other things are happening. But the only thing I can do is keep it together. And do I need anything from you? Just need you to keep being my friend. keep needing you to be in my life, and that's all I can ask for. Because I mean, bro, you've been nothing but the best to me and to my wife and to my family, and I appreciate everything that you've, like, just your time means the most precious things. Your time is the most precious thing, and you always give that to me and to my family. So I appreciate you, you know, and I don't, you know, it's hard, but I think, I think, I think I'm at peace though with myself, even though you might see me, like, maybe break up my voice or shed a tear, but truly inside my heart, I'm, like, at peace because I know God has everything under control.
And that's a cool thing with having God in our lives, because even if we're going through it, we know how to keep it together, you know. And so it's like I said, we have the strength to diffuse our minds on what's going on, and we can stop ourselves from trying to take it another notch where it shouldn't be, whether you're saying things saying or doing things that you would possibly regret. Because of God, we don't have suicidal thoughts.
Mm-mm.
Because of God, we don't get thoughts about giving up
Mm-mm.
with whatever our goal is.
Mm-mm.
And I could keep going, But point is, because of God, that we're able to keep it together.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm happy for that for you, bro. You know, because times are tough, you know, and some people, it's unfortunate that they don't handle it very well, and we can, and we could spread that love and everything. But as far as as far as for you, it's like I applaud it because you do keep it together, and as tough as it is, we definitely have to keep that faith going. You know, believing whatever it is that's going on. If we feel like there's no way out of it, there is a way out. Even if there isn't a plan, even if that plan hasn't even existed yet, it's not even in the process, but you know that there's always going to be a way out of it.
Yeah.
That's the type of faith, you know, that we definitely should have, like, no matter what, to persevere walking through that fire, because we know we're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
So whatever that is, you know, just know that I'm always praying for y'all, and I know
Likewise, brother.
I know things are gonna be great, and
Oh,
so
I
then
believe that 100%, bro. I believe that everything that's going on in my life is for a reason. It's for a purpose. I believe that we're gonna touch people's lives in the future, or even now, bro. God is working in me and my family in ways that I don't even know and understand, but I know later on I will. And like how you mentioned everything just before this, if it's not it's not with with God that I can feel like this, because trust me, like I was once small feeling suicidal thoughts, wanting to kill myself, think I didn't good enough for this world, until I really started understanding a little more and more and more. And every day we're
agreed.
gonna understand more, because I'm not you look at me and you probably think, oh man, he knows a little thing or two, maybe, I don't know. Pero every day I don't consider myself somebody who knows it all. And I think that if you do consider yourself somebody who knows it all, then that's the start of the end for
Agreed.
you
Yeah.
know. But what else did I want to share with you, bro? I just I appreciate you, bro. You kind of caught me a little blindsided. I didn't expect to shed a tear, but this is a good friendship. You guys can see us. You see us, for example. We've been through the thick and thin. We've been through the mud. We've been through the good times, and we're still here. So it's all it takes is communication, right, bro? It takes some communication and shoot, being honest with each other and
That's
growing,
facts.
finding people who are on the same mission. You're on a mission on growing your life with God. I'm on a mission to grow my life with God, and finding other people who are willing to do it too, and share that good news, share that joy, share that peace that has been given to us for others to know how they can also maintain it or also use it in their lives.
That's right.
Yeah, bro. So
That's
it's
how it's
been
got to
good.
be.
This is a good show.
We
I have
appreciate y'all,
one
man.
verse so before we leave, because I wrote it down. All right, I ain't just gonna write
Ooh.
something down and
I
not
see.
say it. So it's Proverbs 27:17, and it says, "As iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend." And bro, I needed to share that too, bro, because the people that you're gonna surround yourself with, are the people that you're gonna become.
Agreed.
Whoever you're surrounding yourself with, if they're a bad example or they're a good example, you're already seeing your future in those moments.
And with those type of friendships and what that verse just talked about, it's like we're all gonna be the best.
Yes, sir. Amen.
It's not one or the other. So
Échale más,
Échale
papá.
más, bruh. So we hope and pray, you know, that you guys experience those same things. So we appreciate y'all, man. Shout out to y'all, and thank you those who responded. You know, definitely keep more of those and keep you guys involved. So please remember, like this video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet already.
And
Follow the Instagram page at _24 on IG, and we are also now on TikTok.
Ay,
Also,
papá.
also _24. I might modify the name a little bit, pero vamos a ver. So, any last words?
No, bro. Thank you for this, and thank you for the show. Thank you for this opportunity that you've given me, bro. I mean, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be doing this, you know. So this is cool. I think we've come
Thank you for being in on it.
good long way from the first episode.
Thank you for being in on it. Because one thing for me is to have the idea, and the other is to accept it.
Yes, sir.
So
That's what it's about, taking action on the ideas, or else it's just the idea goes to trash.
facts.
Let's do it, bro. I love you guys.
Love y'all, man. This is your boy Billy. We got our boy DC over here.
Y échale más.
See you guys next time.